Okay, well, I've started
Okay, shit. Hi. Wait, I'm gonna wait for the thing to get on my screen.
on YouTube.
Oh, I got a notification. All right, on
Damn.
my phone.
How come I didn't get a notification? I want a notification.
No, because you have to turn notifications on, like the little bell
I think I
thing.
got one last time, but sometimes it does take a minute. Oh well, hi. How's it going, man?
Hi, hello. I'm your host, Gamerado, Ignacio, Iggy, however. This is Johnny, Verby,
Vervy boy. V as of late.
V, or
Also
V.
John from the Copy and Print Center because I started working at Staples since we last spoke.
Hell yeah, dude.
So there you go.
How's the chat doing today? Lovely day. Yeah, it just started 2017. Everyone's ready to go, you know.
Yeah.
What are your guys's goals for this year?
I can tell you my goal while they're typing.
Yeah, dude. Tell me yours.
I don't know. Maybe we'll release a song.
Yeah, that I'm releasing.
A lot of people are
releasing
like,
my album this year.
"Oh, that's dope." A lot of people are like, "I want to hit 1,000 followers. Oh, I want to release an EP. I want to release an album." And I'm like, maybe I should get to releasing a song, and that'll be a good start.
But I can hear echo though. Okay, no, never mind. No, not anymore. Hello, Gio. Hi, Skippy. Hi, Brigetman69. I like that guy.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, today. Oh, hello, Eden. Bye. We wanna Folden. Folden is here too. Leo, my dude. We wanna talk about our favorites. Like this whole episode is gonna be based around the best shit that happened in 2016. You can even let's not get about 16 was kind of a shitty year in general for the world. It was a good year for me, but you know. It's kind of shitty in general. I guess politics. We won't get into that. Anyways, we have like a top 10 list of artists plus some honorable mentions that happened this year. It's not in order. It's just like really good shit that happened.
Artists that stood out to me, either projects or just what they do.
Yeah.
So do you want to go first?
You
were about to ask me.
Yeah. Okay. First, we have Steven. He released an album this year called Sincerely. What I really like about Steven is like his music is like honest. He speaks like what I find a lot in music these days, like they don't really have any meaning behind it. I don't think they have to, but you know, I kind of appreciate what they have a lot of like thought behind and stuff.
I can understand that.
Like how Crossfire talks about like war and soldiers and stuff, and like there's like a little crying in the background. There's like a little girl crying or a guy crying or something. So just like tiny details.
Yeah, stuff that adds like to the atmosphere.
Yeah, he gets really political in some songs, which you know, I don't mind. I'm not really gonna get into politics. And I feel Sincerely like the meaning of the album. Like his music, I'm not gonna speak about his music because like, it's just really good. He's so talented, and I think that's just too obvious to talk about. Like he's his own producer. He masters his own stuff. He like plays, he sings. He's like amazing. I think he's gonna blow up this year, if not next one, or he's gonna be huge.
I just realized I hadn't started the background music, so.
Oh man.
The people have music in their ears, so they should.
Yeah.
So you want me to do the next one then?
Wait, I'm not finished. I feel like Sincerely, the album, like the whole meaning of the album is like self-acceptance and like confidence in yourself, which I find is pretty true. Because like this year, I actually reached what's like true confidence, you know, like or acceptance, not of confidence.
Right.
But acceptance, like who you are. And
I feel being like satisfied with what you're doing.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so important for you to like just I don't know if love yourself. Not because like you're amazing or anything, but just because you exist, you know. just accept who you are. And like, if you're doing any art, what I find is like liking your own art. There's always the excuse of if you like your own art, you don't wanna become better or some shit, and that's bullshit, honestly. So I really like my own art, and I want to become better. So yeah, it's your time now, John.
Okay.
No, just Sawyer is mad.
Okay, cool. So, I have like, I don't know, I kind of put them in order of who came to mind first, but it's not in order of like who's important, I guess. But I think my favorite project, at least at the beginning of the year, and it kind of rang true throughout, was Kanye West's The Life of Pop. Because I didn't really like. There was like the whole build up to the album. There was the changing the names, the tweets, the this and that, and it like kind of like, whether it was intentional on his part or not, kind of like drew me into like it. Like it's much more. I was much more involved by the time the album came out,
Yeah.
And so I think when I first heard the album, I was already like in a place for the album to mean something or to like be strong. And many other people were listening for Kanye songs, for what they know, what they appreciate about Kanye. And what I went into it listening for was songs that mean something to me regardless of who the artist is. And a lot of the songs on there are very loose, and then a lot of them have just that, like, that signature soul samples and stuff like that. And from a producer's perspective, the Kanye album was just really good. Producer-wise, like, regardless of what you think about the songs and things like that, I think it's not too far to say that it was a very well-produced album. And then, on top of that, it was just really enjoyable to hear because of the amount of, like, there is positivity, and even in the negative things that he mentions on the album, there's mentions of it in a joking manner, so it brings it in, like, a positive way. And I think at the beginning of this year, I like needed kind of a positive bump. And so that album coming out in February really like tuned my whole year. And the rest of the artists on this list, almost every single one is soul, R&B, and hip hop, and definitely I got into them more, or I found them because I was in that mood from the Kanye album at the beginning of the year. So he kind of like painted my whole year, with that soul R&B sound, positivity, and that kind of feel. Favorite song on the album is probably Ultralight Beam with Chance the Rapper. That's like, it's like, I mean, it's the first song on the album and it just brings out so much like positivity. And I'm not like a religious person, and that's what the song definitely like is rooted in. But like, if you can write a song that good, like, I'm going to enjoy it no matter what it's about.
Yeah. So the next picks, they're kind of all grouped together. So I'm kind of just mentioning. I'm gonna mention each one, but like the next three for me is like Zuckerberg, Shadian, and Iska.
Right.
They just this year and like last year. I think last year more, but this year was still. They've been kind of pushing this sort of edgy sound in music, distortion and shit,
right.
Which I love. It's like those three guys are like my three inspirations right now on like music. And I like this is not like Steven. I'm not saying it's worse. It's not like meaningful, but it's just cool, it's just cool sounding. It's nothing you've really heard before, and it's fucking cool, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, I totally get that.
It's you just hear this and I want to make something like that. And I did, and I even played on the podcast one day.
That's dope.
And like I feel those guys are like the music I've always wanted to make, but it's like that scratch that I never got. That sort of thing that like that scratch the fucking how do you say it? That itch that you never thought you wanted to scratch. Yeah, it's like that's like just what I needed, like the halftime glitchy thing. Yeah.
Right.
Just so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna get into specifics a little bit on the other three artists. I feel like those three guys, the Kurber, Shay, and Niska, are the ones that have been pushing it more,
Right.
and Alon more, but Alon more is like a whole different thing. Kurber's, he's like super Oriental based. Like, I like how he has like those chill intros and breaks of like Oriental ambient sort of stuff,
Right.
and then it just drops and it's like insane.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that. I've heard a lot of Succurbers this year, and I think some of that kind of bled into my music, that style that you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, Oriental stuff. Just it's
Yeah.
been a lot of underground artists have been doing it. I really like his neuro stuff. His EP that's offcuts of his next album, but they're amazing by itself.
Yeah.
So the album is gonna be. Then there's Shadiant, which this guy pushes more boundaries, I guess. I mean, Sakura is just cool, and I feel like if Sakura's like the Asian guy, there's like Shadiant will be like the metal head, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. Like, what styles are
like
joining together?
Yeah, he goes like it's not really metal, but like it's just so heavy.
Yeah.
And it's just I think I played a song where the literally the drop is like all like the guy yelling and getting all distorted with like a cool bass in the background, and like a layered and with like drums and shit, and pretty cool. And he has some problems, I guess. Like he used to delete like all his stuff, and you know the whole changing names and whatever. Oh yeah, Baba Khan. I've never really heard Baba Khan. Like I know the name, but I haven't really looked into it. It's Baba Khan is cool, but I don't know if like best of 2016. He's really good. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, and I feel like now Shadian is trying to go for a more. He's still trying to go for like the really harsh sound,
Right.
but it's like more hearable, I guess now. If that's good or bad, it's up to the listener. But I feel like with that, he at least will get more of an audience. Because like he released on Inspected and shit, and I feel like now he's settled a little bit more in his career, and he's working on an album now, and it's dropping this year, and I'm hyped for that. Then there's Iska. Iska is just fuck, dude. Like I don't even know how you explain his music. It's like sound engineer music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. He actually is No Mana. If you know him.
Oh yeah, actually, really.
Yeah, he's No Mana. He's like an alias.
Oh, that's so.
And
Actually,
it's just
I didn't know that.
yeah, and it's fuck. Like one of his songs is literally called Flusterfuck, and I think that pretty much sums up him well.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So,
And then there's Alan Moore. That's kind of on the list, but it's also another thing. He goes a lot. He has like this style. It's kind of. It seems really like cultural. Like the intros and stuff. They have like this little guitar thingy always the songs. And, well, some of them, but like his style's like it's guitar folk sort of thing. Maybe right. And it just drops and it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know. You really have to hear for yourself. I mean, if you probably know this guy, a lot of people in the chat seem to know it.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of these guys.
I don't know how to explain it. And it's just, I feel like okay. Alan Moore would be like the little hipster kid. I'm not saying, and that's the best way I can describe him. But he's insane.
Right.
It's really good. A lot of people that are more used to normal music get kind of turned away because like he uses a lot of distortion, like over distorted stuff. One song was literally just like a detuned superstar, like a really distorted detuned superstar, and it's so good. Like you're left wondering, how the fuck do you make that song good?
Right.
And he did, and it's really good, and I liked it.
That's dope.
It's okay. Now your turn.
Since you grouped a few together, I have a couple that can be grouped together as well. Ari Lennox, Anderson .Paak, kind of Muramasa, I guess, could go into this group. Charlie Heat, a couple other people. And these are what I was talking about, that kind of R&B influence I've taken a lot. Also, people like Abra, The Internet, a bunch of artists who like didn't do a lot of stuff in 2016. But
wait, there's an artist called The Internet?
Yeah, The Internet. The lead singer used to hang out with Tyler the Creator's like crew. Used to be in Odd Future.
Shit.
Actually, they were all kind of like associated. Like, yeah, they do just fantastic R&B stuff. But yeah, so I was like tooling around on Apple Music one day, and I had like a recommended. No, maybe I was on Beats One, the radio station, and they played this song by an artist named Ari Lennox. I just learned that it's pronounced Lennox, so I'm probably gonna say it wrong because it's Nox at the end. I thought it was Leno. But yeah, she had this song that was like really soulful, but it had like kind of electronic-y production. But like the R&B in the vocals was fantastic. And so I went to her like page or whatever and found that she had an album called Foe out. And I guess it's kind of like between an EP and an album, because there's like 6 tracks on it. But it is just so like, I don't know, like it's like one of her songs has made it in almost every one of my playlists for different moods and stuff, just because it's so like well done and her voice is just so good and like soulful, I guess. Like you really feel what she's saying, and I can't relate to everything she says in her songs. And she does speak to a culture that's like a lot different than what I'm used to, especially with electronic music, because she's speaking to, I don't know, I would say she's speaking to maybe like an urban city culture kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm like a suburban EDM dude, but I don't know, I just picked up on this and started just like really tuning into it, and yeah, Ari Lennox is just fantastic. And then Muramasa, if like Ari Lennox is the voice that I love in that style, Muramasa is the producer that I love in that style. His releases this year were way more soulful, way more relaxed, and much more like contemporary and kind of like adult than his previous releases, especially like the more trappy releases of years past.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, this is like maturity. You know what I'm saying? Like coming to terms with like a sound and like coming together, I think. And I think that's what I really love about it. And I would say most of these artists, there's a few that are like childish, I guess, but most of these artists are kind of more mature. And I think that kind of reflects on me, is that I'm like growing up and becoming more mature in not only the music I like, but I got a job and stuff too this year. So like that's like my year being, I guess, played to the artist. So another one that would make that list is Toro y Moi, who released actually at the end of 2015 a kind of mixtape that was like soul, R&B, and trap music kind of together. And he's normally an alternative rock like musician. He plays guitar, he sings, and he used to do like alt rock, and he still like does it like folk rock, alt rock. And so, I mean, I knew he was a producer, and he had kind of an R&B album come out in the past. He bounces around genres a lot, but Samantha was his mixtape at the end of 2015, and it was just so like the songs were like vastly different, but it really felt like focused in that maturity that I was talking about. Yeah. And that's a free mixtape, by the way, Samantha. And I just was really blown away, like how just I could easily listen to it. I actually went and saw him on his tour for the album that came out before the mixtape, and they played his mixtape's tracks in the like while they were setting up the stage and stuff for his show. So I was like, that's pretty dope when you can be your own opener and the music is like totally different, and it's still really good, you know. So that was dope. And then the last artist on that list is Anderson .Paak, who really kind of blew up this year. But I've been listening to him for a couple of years now, since he was Breezy Lovejoy, and he used to do kind of like trap rap stuff.
I'm sorry, Anderson .Paak?
Yeah. Well, do you say the dot really?
I don't know.
I have I actually on my Google Doc here. I have the dot written. So, but yeah, no, he. I really loved his stuff as Breezy Lovejoy when he was kind of a trap rapper. I mean, it was generic sounding, but it was still like enjoyable and like an original style. But since he's embraced this more, again, mature R&B style, that's what all these have in common. I've really come to love like the scratchiness on his voice. The way he like swings on a beat, the way his he can make it line up with the track, with the production, and just it's really good.
Yeah.
So I just I don't really have too much to say about him. I was really on him at the end of last year, and his album Venice, which came out in 2015, was probably good, like as good if not better than Malibu, which is the one that came out this year. But that one has a lot more rap on it and stuff. But to me, like anything he puts out is just gold.
Yeah.
And
he's good.
Yeah, I definitely love Anderson .Paak. So do you have more
I heard,
on your list?
Yeah, I heard like one rap from him, and I was like,
yeah. Well, he had that. He had that.
Yeah, that
like,
Ijima.
The half verse on the Ijima. Yeah.
I was like, that was my favorite part. That and like the part before it's like punk or whatever.
Yeah, he really kills it.
Well, I forgot when I speak to about Steven, there's also another two guys that I could group him with. That's Eden and Evoke. And we can say Suburban too, but I want to give Suburban his own spot because he deserves it. Eden, Edge Lord singing. That's basically what it is. But he's good. You wanna cry when you hear him. Which I guess it's. He seems to talk. It's like he's always depressed. I don't know. But I kind of love that because I'm a teen. That's what teens like, right?
I didn't say.
Yeah. I feel we can get Steven. It's like he talks about politics and stuff. Eden talks about he talks about like personal issues like drugs and sex and all this, but like how bad they are for him. And Evoke, he talks about personal experiences a lot. It said Steve. Okay, someone just DM'd me. It said Steven. Okay, whatever. And yeah, I really like Eden's sound. Is a lot more. It's a lot more electronic, I guess. I mean, they're all electronic, but it's sort of more kind of trap sounding, and like kind of experimental here and there. He uses a lot of distortion, but like really, really like subtly, and like you can hear like in the background you hear like a lot of distorted plugs and stuff, and it just adds like a really nice atmosphere because his whole like theme is like how fucked his life is. Like I feel like having like those distorted sounds just really like makes you like get in his head of like how fucked everything is. And then there's Evoke. It's a lot more poppy sounding, but he has like this sort of neuro sound, which I think is really original to like combine neuro with vocals, and he does it so well. With like rapping, he has like some rap songs that has like neuro elements, and it's so dope. His voice is a lot more poppy though, like poppy sounding. I guess this weird combination. But I really like it. His singing is so good. He can hit like fucking the melodies he does. Like they're so catchy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's great. Evoke is a lot more unheard, I guess, than Eden and Steven. And there's even another guy. He's a friend of mine. Suburban. I found him this year, and this guy just deserves a shit ton more of attention.
Yeah.
Like, this guy sings and produces his own track, and like he has this really original sound that's like trap. He does trap, like hip hop sort of thing. So I feel like that's gonna benefit him, because it's all about like the hip hop nowadays. We talked about that.
Right.
And he combines them with like jazz, or wait, no, not jazz. Yeah, it's like jazz hip hop, but it's really jazz, you know.
Right.
And like he also has like an experimental sound, and he has like vocals. He reminds me of like a rock singer with how he sings his melodies.
That's dope.
And so good. I'm gonna play, probably next episode, I'm gonna play one of his tracks at least. The originals. He also did like 2 remixes. One of like the Hidden song that's actually in the mix. This mix, I think. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go over the 2 left again. The 2 left, it's on the list, so because like we're close.
Yeah.
Shoshpan, good rapper, pretty self-conscious. Trap to vibe on, and just good shit. Drops. I like Tomahawk. The intro is like, shots fired everywhere. It's like
Josh Penn
intro
killing it this one.
Yeah, the intro was like, we're gonna make the festival banger or something, and then all you need was like a laptop and a headset. Just look at Marshmello, and I was like, thank you.
True.
And then there's Karma Fields. I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for him, but fuck, dude, so unique. He has like this whole like computer. Yeah, I said Shush man. Like his whole like branding and sound is like computers, AI sort of making music. It sounds really robotic, which I really like, because it fits. Like it's this really synthetic sound. It's like you can feel it's really computer based, and I really like that. I don't know, it's really unique in terms of like, and I like some songs get like fucked,
right?
Which you can see that's apparently my taste. Shit getting fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot to. Live. Okay, are there any more people left on your list?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few, but I'll just bring it down to like I think that one of the most important projects to me this year was Club Cheval's album Discipline. Club Cheval is a supergroup between 4, I believe they're all French DJs, house DJs, kind of clubby techno guys. I would say mostly house club. And when they came together and made this album, it's rap influence, it's hip hop influence, but it's a house album, like basically. And there's interludes for each of them. There's like 4 really solid tracks, and then a bunch of really good supporting tracks. And this album, like top to bottom, I think is one of the best albums of the year. And that's Discipline. That's like it's like there's tracks on here that are really emotional, and the melodies are just really good. They have a rapper on most of the tracks who sings and raps, and I think they just nail a sound that hasn't really been like a thing yet. Because I can hear these songs played at a festival or this or that, and like the music videos get really nostalgic too, which I really like.
Yeah, it's like like that kind of music that can be played in a club and be played in your house, and like they're fitting for both. Yeah,
and it's just like you're just like, wow, this is so good for that,
Yeah. Okay. Atra Jesus. Fuck off. Oh, I did you see what Atra Jesus said?
No.
Oh, Twitter and Shoshpan had a really interesting relationship this year. Julian, nothing happened to him. It's just a troll. A bunch of.
I think I retweeted one Josh Pan tweet this year, and it was I'm in a room full of ball earthers. He's a flat earther.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Goshfather is a friend of mine, who's a DJ out in LA. He's a house DJ, like kind of like Euro house. I want to say almost like French house inspired stuff. But he lives out in LA, and he was in a duo that was like really doing good. And then they decided to break up for like creative differences. And his solo work since they broke up is really fantastic, I think. Just really good, like French, European, even like some Russian house sound. And he just nails it, dude. Goshfather is probably one of my favorites, and it's like I'm friends with him on social media. Like we've talked before, had conversations. He knows who I am, and that's like really kind of like inspiring. So like from a personal standpoint, like 2016 was a really good year for him, even though he lost a lot of the success that he had in the duo. And the other guy actually went on to be more successful than the duo was, I think, so far. So that's kind of a bummer for him, but dude, Team Goshfather, bro, he's killing it. I'm like really excited. Every time he put out a song like once every 2 months last year, and hopefully he keeps that up and keeps putting out good tracks because they were really good. Really happy with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's about it.
Yeah, it's time for remember to cut the stream.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you on the other side.
Time for the episode. What all of you have been here for, rather than hearing us talk. All right.
All right.